Mine.
My name is Ishmael Jabber, and I was born in Kuwait from a Palestinian father and an Egyptian mother. I was in a prison called Maryland House of Correction, and I thought to myself I was one good, well-seasoned Christian. So I searched the scripture and I got baptized. Something else just woke up in me. The Lord has touched me. Then and only then I knew the meaning of the word grace.
Yep, you heard that right. Before he even knew about Philemon, God was preparing Izzy for his new life and coming home for good. Since Izzy has been at the Philemon ministry, he continues to grow in his faith, engage our brotherhood, and is establishing his citizenship. We'd love to help more men like Izzy. Help us get to our annual fundraising goal of $75,000 on October 26, 6:30 p.m. at Central Presbyterian Church in Towson. Follow the QR code and link in comments for more information and registration.
All right. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Girl, it's Tuesday, and I'm so excited.
Man, listen, the month is November. I mean, October is October.
Come on, talk about it, sis. Talk about it. I am so excited. I'm going to introduce to some and reconnect to some. My girl, my amazing club sister, the organizer, the brains behind Tina Marie and the Bridge Builders. This woman is a serial entrepreneur. She's a mom. She's a grandma. She's a sister. She's a cousin. She's a daughter. She is a woman of faith. She is truly an inspiration, not just to the Bridge Builders, but to everybody who she shares space with. I want you guys to give a big round of applause for my girl, Tina Marie Fowler. Hey. I am so excited to have you in the building. First of all, let me say, sis, you look amazing, girl. I want to say you look good. You look good.
Thank you.
As you should. I want to congratulate you for all the success, all the impact that you have been able to make. It's so many things that I want to just jump into. So I want to go ahead and get started. Tina, why don't you walk us through what your entrepreneurial life was like? I think so many times for women, especially women in business who are scared to make that leap, what really kind of prompted you to start your trail as an entrepreneur and how that really positioned you for what you're doing now?
You know, it just really pulls at you. You don't even realize it's pulling at you. You're kind of sowing seed all throughout your life, and it's just pulling at you. And it's really having the faith to answer that pull or that call. I be trying to think of smartified words to say, right? to give people to say, well, it was this moment. And no, it really was. It just was a continuum of wow, this is what I've been doing. Wow, this is what I've been doing. Wow, this is what I've been doing. And then just having the faith to step all the way into it. Yeah.
I love that. Did you always know that you were going to make this type of impact in the world? Was it something that you just kind of felt as a child, something that people might have spoken over you as they watched you grow up, or is this something that's totally taken you by surprise?
You froze. You're frozen.
Can you hear me?
Okay, you froze. Okay, you're back.
Okay, make sure we ain't freeze. Okay, unfreeze. I wanted to know just your journey. Was this something that you saw coming along the lines as you just grew up as a child? Was this something that people kind of spoke over you in your life and saying, oh my goodness, Tina Marie, you're going to do something amazing? Or is this something that has totally taken you by surprise?
It's taken me by surprise. Whether or not you kind of feel it and someone is speaking it over you, it still takes you by surprise, because God is really that amazing that even when people are speaking it to you and even when you're working through it, the things that you had in store for yourself don't match what he has in store for you. And so my grandmother, I was just having a story with my mom today. I asked her, did you have a feeling about me? And she said, I did. And we talked about something. Never asked you that. I said, but grandma, my grandmother, if you know my grandma and me, she always knew. And I remember her telling me, you know, Tina, you could be the president of the United States. I'm like 12 years old. You could be the president. You have that in you to lead people. And so my first introduction to my leadership was my grandmother speaking it and seeing it in me and telling me that about myself as a young girl. And my sister and brother would always say, everything. Tina would organize all kinds of, we never just had regular playtime. She would always organize an event for us to do, and she assigned us certain things to do. So it's always been there. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So I'm sure that that must be a full circle moment for you, just knowing the fact that you were able to start with those types of beginnings, and then now how you're able to take those same things and speak that over others and show others how to be able to share space and how to make an impact. What is that like for you, just knowing that you make such an impact in the lives of the women and the lives that you touch?
It's the most, when there's a gift in you and you step into it, and um God is kind of taking you there. And once you recognize what he wants you to do, which is to bring people together, it's so
Yes.
fulfilling knowing that the whole time along, when my sister and brothers, like, you know, you would structure our playtime. But when I look back on those times, it was all in an effort so we can get along. Because, you know, if you got siblings, y'all do a lot of back and forth arguing and fighting. So playtime can quickly become kids fighting with each other over a toy, or who turned his necks, or who didn't lose or who won. But it was all about uniting people. And it feels like I'm fulfilling my calling.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. For those of you who don't know, Tina Marie is definitely a woman of faith, a woman of just great strength, tenacity, and resilience. So, what has your faith like been like in your entrepreneurial journey? I think sometimes people think, you know, when you're an entrepreneur, you just got it all together and there are no dark days or there are no mountains to climb. But how has your faith really kind of grown and really kind of kept you in the times when you are building or in times of transition?
We shared this in Coach Pam's class too today. And we shared about words, phrases, or affirmations that get you through. And mine is faith without work is dead. That
Mm.
is what gets me through. Because sometimes as you're working and building and creating, sharing space all the time with others, seeing the light in others, helping to pull that out. Sometimes it can get to a place where you feel like you're doing it for nothing, or it's unrewarding, or it feels you're not feeling fulfilled. And you go back to what pulls you through. And that is my scripture, faith without work is dead. It just feels like this, Tina Marie. But if you don't work it, you're not showing your true faith. If you give up, if you pull back because you're not feeling rewarded, right? Or you're not feeling validated by others, by the same people that you're pouring into, or whatever, all these obstacles, you're having financial struggles, all these things that are happening will make you kind of pull back. Like, I don't want to do this no more. Give me a 9 to 5, right, with some structured income, and I know it's going to come in all the time. Get me a position where I can be introverted and work by myself on my own projects, so I don't have to deal with this stuff. You got to pull from something that's going to help push you through. And mine is faith without work is dead. Man, you say you have radical faith. You say
Mm.
that you trust the Lord. You say you're letting him guide your steps. You say that his thoughts are higher than your thoughts and his ways are higher than your ways for your life. And if you really believe that, let's, okay, be that then keep working. And all those things that you're feeling not validated, he is validating you by continuing. You talked about this in your workshop, right? We talked about this again today, that milestone, what milestones, and you look back and see that he brought you through. He has brought you through every single time. And so I just go and lean into the word anytime I can. Find a scripture that works for you. Mine is faith without work is dead. So yeah.
I love that. I love that. Just looking at the impact that you've been able to make, and you've done so much, but I'm trying to focus on some things that are happening, both recent history and things that are upcoming. one of the things that I do want to talk to you about is the Girls' Day party. The girls, I mean, this celebrating women in business. What was the inspiration behind this day, and what has it meant to people who have actually been able to attend or even participate as vendors? And why is it a must go to activity in Phoenix, Arizona?
Yeah. So the event really was born out of Milwaukee, the inception really of the event. It wasn't called Girls' Day Party, Celebration of Black Women in Business. It was called Maze. It was created to put women in a space that typically won't run into each other, but they're having some of the same struggles, right? They're looking for resources, they're looking for sisterhood, they're looking for other women in business that they can be inspired from, pull from. And so it began there. And it was really just getting together, sharing what we're doing, having maybe 2 or 3 vendors there, right, to kind of elevate the experience. It developed into this place of, no, they need to be celebrated. And it needs to be women that are in business 1 to 5 years. They can even be in business for 10 years, but it's women that are looking to scale. They need the resources. They need the support. They need to be celebrated. They need the energy of, you got this, babe, keep going. And so that's what this event is. It's not so much of a place where you can come and be a vendor and it's a pop-up market and your whole focus is like, okay, this is a great event. I'm gonna get in here and make a ton of money. That's what I'm coming here for. No, baby, it's an experience. You in all white, you dressed to the nines, you're in here. It's about Black women excellence. It's about other cultures and races supporting us. It's about men supporting us, about everyone coming through, flocking through the event, celebrating the achievements of Black women. Whether you've been in business for 1 or 2 years, sis, there's a place here for you. The only requirements is you got to come and show out. I tell women all the time, you got to have the proper banner. You got to be flush in your product. It just pushes them to elevate. I've had so many women come back and say, Tina Marie, it's because of your event. You made me buy my first banner. You made me like invest in my first like real investment in my product, because you told me my table had to be flush. So I make sure I have all my products ready. So it's an event that pushes you and celebrates you at the same time. And even if you're not a woman in business, just to know that you're a part of lifting up another woman, lifting up sisterhood, by being there, right? It's a good time. It's fellowship. It's music. It's Black girl magic from every spectrum, whether it's in business, whether it's just you can't wait to put this outfit on and go here and be clean with your girlfriends. You know how we do, right? And if you're not a Black girl, but you believe in sisterhood and you believe in supporting those that are still underserved in a certain area, we're still behind the 8 ball in business, right? Because our businesses are failing simply because we don't have resources. We don't understand basic economics, which is supporting each other, sharing the dollar, but bigger than sharing the dollar, sharing the resources with each other, and sharing our trade secrets, opening the door, not gatekeeping, but making that gate be a place like opening that door, like, sis, come on, everybody, let everybody come on, right? So that's what it's about.
I love that. We got 2 of our sisters who turned in. Coach Pam is there, and Sister Carnita. We definitely want to give you guys lots of love. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm excited because if you guys have not been to a Tina Marie and the Bridge Builders function, you definitely need to go. I mean, that event space just feels like you went into another place. It's like, as soon as you open the door, it just takes you into a whole nother element. And although I haven't been able to attend a Girls' Day party, I've definitely been consuming it, over the airwaves, just looking at it, seeing everybody in their white dress, seeing all the things happen. And I love that about you, because you're a person who not only provides space, but you're definitely that sister that to say, come on, sis, let's run this race. Let's get this together. And I love that about you, because so many times when you meet women or just people in general who've reached a certain level, sometimes people forget to look back and try to pull that next person up. But that's definitely not who you are. It's definitely not how you conduct or do business, or just even how you operate, how you move, how you're being there. So I want to thank you for just being the amazing woman of God that you are. Just excited about that. So ladies and gents, if you haven't gotten those tickets for Girls' Day Party, make sure that you guys go over to Tina Marie and the Bridge Builders and you go over and you purchase your ticket because you will not forget it. That's right. Phoenix, show up, go crazy. And even if you're not in Phoenix, girl, fly down, catch your flight. It's not hot down there no more. That's what they say. So you should be able to enjoy your time there in Phoenix and have a good time. Just recognizing that fall is here, especially you can really see and appreciate that up here in Milwaukee. One of the things that we had at the Sisterhood and Connections, we talked about that some of the things that we are releasing. So as you think about fall, as you think about getting ready to go into this next season, what are some things that you are releasing at this time?
I am releasing frustration and temporary anger. Because I would excuse the temporary anger by acknowledging the fact that it was a temporary moment. And although I'm not going to withhold my emotions of being like not the happiest with some things, I'm definitely going to make sure that I'm not creating a habit out of saying I need to release it. Some things don't need anger to be released. Some things can be released over meditation, solitude, and prayer. And I've not been leaning into that first. I've been leaning into my emotion first, believing that I needed to fuel it that way to be able to get past it quicker, right? But all that does, it just turns me up. I would say turn up, right? Turns me up. And it takes a while for me to recover from it, right? And so I'm releasing that, and instead I'm embracing. Let me process that. When someone says something to me that's getting ready to turn me up, that would typically turn me up, instead of just allowing it to turn me up in that moment, being calm and collected enough to look at that person and say, let me process that first. And although I know what they're saying is some bull, although I know what they're saying, it will turn me up.
Right.
Although I know what they're saying in my mind, I need to tell you off, but it does me no good. And so instead of doing that, just being able to allow that person to sit in that so I can go process it, meditate on it, pray on it, and then ask God, how do I handle it from there? Do I let that person deal with that on their own, or do I go back and address it in a different manner? I'm releasing, jumping to temporary anger first, and moving into embracing a prayer and meditation on how to deal with some of the challenges I'm met with on a regular basis.
I definitely love that. I think that that's really impactful because sometimes when you're trying to navigate various situations, some emotions can kind of stick on to you and kind of attach themselves to you. Before long, it's changing the way you show up. It's changing the way you move and how you breathe and how you interact with others. And I like the fact that you're able to just say, okay, hey, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to release that. The things that I could or should do, I'm not even going to do in this moment. And I think that that's just important in having that positive and that gratitude type of atmosphere and that type of mindset. I want to say hey to Danielle, one of our other sisters who's definitely checking in. We definitely are wishing you all the best. I think for myself, when I think about what I'm releasing at this space, I think I'm just releasing the former versions of myself that no longer fit me, because so many times, you have that tendency, to want to shrink yourself or put yourself inside of a box. And so there were things that fit me at a time, things that I was willing to do and able to do to be able to survive, traumatic situations. But I'm definitely releasing those versions of me, those pieces of me, because where I'm going, I can't take those things with me. Sometimes the load, is really light. You got to get light as you elevate. And sometimes you got to take this thing off and let go of that thing in order to be able to reach that next plateau. So for me, that's just kind of what I'm doing.
That's good.
That's what I'm releasing, sis. I am. This brings us to the little segment where we're talking about what's in our cup. When I think about what's in my cup for this next season, what's in my cup for this moment, I'm thinking about the essence and just the beauty of time and how time waits for nobody. It doesn't stand still. And so when I think about what's in my cup, I'm thinking about redeeming the time. You know, sometimes you can feel as if you squander time or time has been wasted, but sometimes it takes time to nurture. It takes time to be able to plant. It takes time to be able to pull in a harvest. And I'm just recognizing the beauty of time. I'm also recognizing the beauty of relationships, because sometimes I think we can take for granted and think that a person is always going to be here. And that's just not the case. You know, life shows us on a daily basis that, hey, somebody did not wake up this morning. And so I'm going to treasure the time that I have here, both to interact and to be able to make an impact, but also to build in those relationships. So that's what I got in my cup. Tina Marie, what do you have in your cup today?
Abundance.
Mm.
Abundance. Abundance. Yeah.
You really do.
Abundance is in my cup. Yeah.
You really do. I do want to touch on really quickly the whole Perryville experience, but before we get into that, what really inspired the Motivational Speakers Forum, a day of healing for middle-aged women? What was there, a string of events? Was there something specific in your life experience that said, okay, hey, I need to create this? What was it? What was the thought process that went into forming the Motivational Speakers Forum?
Well, almost, I don't know if this is a fun fact or maybe most people notice about me, but all of the events I've created are from personal life experiences. So they are very intentional. None of my events just derived out of like, you know what, I should do this. They're all very sentimental to me. Sisterhood and Mammograms is one of our biggest community initiatives. That event, although it's for mammograms, it was created to pay homage to my dad who died of prostate cancer. Um, Grandmother Self Care Boxes is another community initiative our organization has. That was to pay homage to my grandmother, who was instrumental in helping to raise me, who I never seen take a day of self care, right? Who I never seen, when she would get help or something for me, and someone would come and give her something, they would bring it for me, to alleviate some of the financial strain on her, but never anything for her. So that's how that was created. Celebrating Aging Hearts is where we go and spend companion time with the elderly and disabled. That was created because I've seen elderly people be without their families on major holidays. And I know sometimes these places go all out for holidays, so it's kind of, you get filled up a little bit. But I thought about the hearts of people that once had someone they loved and now they've passed away. They were married for 30 or 40 years, and that maybe was a sentimental time for them. And now they're feeling empty inside. So I want to fill in the gap for that. Sisterhood, what was I going to name? We do so much stuff, babe.
I know. The gala.
Girls Day Party, a celebration of Black women in business, was created because we're not celebrated enough and we don't celebrate each other enough. And that still is going on right now, right? We still have women out there trying to divide women because they feel like she's doing what I'm doing. Girl, goodbye. Like, you better get on board and start collaborating and start being about sisterhood in the most authentic way, not when it's serving you. I just shared this with somebody else the other day that I can't just pull in people I like, right? We can't just work with people we like, right? Because if that's the case, then it's going to be easy for everybody. We got to pull in people that, we may not get along with, but because we need to let them see the God in us, we have to pull them in. Love thy neighbor as you love yourself. Coach Pam just shared that today. And so the Motivational Speakers Forum was dedicated to my mom, because I feel like if events like that were a thing, and I could have taken my mom to some of that stuff, because some of the women in our life, their dreams and aspirations are still in there. But sometimes we feel like we've had too much trauma, not enough time, we've lost time, we don't have it no more. That's where we still got the juice comes from, because we still got the juice, right? And so the Motivational Speakers Forum was created to pay homage to women like my mom, that we need to hear testimonies of women that are 50, that are 60 years old, that are in their 40s, that somehow started a business, somehow got from underneath whatever it was that was binding them, and was able to, by the gracious and the merciness and the deliverance of the Most High God, they were to get past that stuff. And look at them now. It's for that. And so it was paying homage to my mom. Like, I want women like my mom to be able to sit in the audience like, man, like, I really can go back to school. I really can fall in love and get married again. I really can start that business. It's for all of those things. And the fact that they made it into that prison, to God be the glory, okay?
I love it. I love the fact that not only is it doing a homage and taking a look back on what those intricate pieces were, but it speaks life to women currently in their space, and even to those who will come behind it. It really gives such a powerful mantle. Just this past 2 weeks ago, you guys went over to Perryville Prison over in Phoenix, Arizona. Tell us, what was that event like for you? First of all, receiving the invitation, and what was it like for you to show up with the Bridge Builders at Perryville?
It was the most, I just shared this on my live. It was the most impactful thing I've done to date. If you know my tagline, it's Tina Marie, the Bridge Builder, empowering and connecting women for over 20 years. And to date, it's the most impactful thing I've ever done. I felt God is faithful when you are obedient.
Yes.
And I felt like God was directly speaking to the Bridge Builders and saying, go in there and speak to my children. Y'all go in there and speak to my children and tell them what I did for you. And we went in there and did just that. And it showed the favor of God over the organization, because we made history. Never had the prison had an event in the prison, but not only that, the yard that we were in, those women don't even have the privilege to have workshops and other things that the other yards have. And there were 30 of us allowed behind those prison walls as a collective group. Those things that never happened before. That's God. That's the favor of God. And that is Him telling us, go in there and speak to my children. And I shared this on one of my podcasts. Our testimonies don't belong to us.
Yes.
Those are our stories to share about how amazing the Most High God is and the things that He has seen us through. And so this platform, Motivational Speakers Forum, a day of healing for women now. Now I've had to rename it, because we had to rename it for the prison's sake, because some of them are not middle-aged women, right? Some of them that are sitting there with us are 30-year-old women.
Yes.
So it's a day of healing for women. So it meant so much to me that the thing I created for my mom, and for all women that feel like they are not seen, they're not heard, they're not valued, that we were able to go in there and see them and let them know that we are you. We share the same traumas. We share the same family dynamics. We share the same struggles. And we share the same victories, right? Their victories will soon be like ours. And they will soon be able to use their testimony to save somebody else.
I love it. So just thinking back to that day, everybody's sitting up there, the Bridge Builders in their purple and their whether they had the Bridge Builders shirts on or whether they were dressed in their purple, and looking out into the crowd and just seeing the mirror of emotion, the appreciation, the moments where things were impacted, and you can tell that they were moved by the what was being said. What does that do for you as the organizer? Because of course I'm sure that when you were planning the event, and the way that it was set up was beautifully done, between both the panel discussions and the speeches, and all the intricate pieces, but actually seeing it taking its effect, and not just on the women who were coming to hear, but even the Bridge Builders themselves. What is that full circle moment like for you?
It was surreal. It was surreal. Just watching the contrast between the women dressed in all orange and the women dressed in all purple.
Yes.
Just kind of, and it should be a clear separation of them and us and them. The colors alone should indicate a clear separation. But the emotion,
yes,
from the orange to the purple, from the purple to the orange,
yes,
was absolutely the same.
yes.
And it helped me to realize that the ministry in this organization belongs everywhere, Tina. Because I was apprehensive about going into the prison because I didn't know how they would take me. And so I'm like, I gotta figure out how to speak in a way, or I gotta figure out how to walk in a way where they're not gonna look at me and think who she thinks she is. All these different things, and we're all the same, so they're not gonna look at me like that.
No.
And so as I watched the orange and the purple and the purple and the orange, and watched everybody's body movements and their motions and how they were moving, even the leaders that I can pick out in there that had my same energy and same flow,
yes.
I felt at home.
Exactly.
I felt at home.
You, as you do always, and like I said, just watching you in your elements, you know, you could just feel that you have a heart for people. You know what I mean? Which is a great leadership quality. You know, it takes a person to be able to see where a person is and to be able to meet that need. You know, foresee it and to be able to plan ahead of it and be able to be ahead of the curve and meet that. And so, like I said, the event from beginning to end was just something that it's been a very impactful experience for myself as well. And I know all the other bridge builders that I've spoken with, it was just such a fulfilling experience. So I want to thank you for having the foresight to accept the invitation, because you could have said no. Yeah. The bridge builders are not going to do X, Y, Z, but you had the foresight to be able to understand that there was a need in Perryville, and that this was going to make an impact, not just on those who were going to hear, but even the bridge builders themselves, about participating in an event that was going to be able to have this type of effect on this population, which is just truly necessary and needed. So I just want to thank you for being an awesome visionary. In case people don't know, it's bridge builder territory over here. We are so excited about it. I was just telling my girl, Ari, I'm like, yes, babe, like you really got to get a hold of this, because it's like an amazing space. I've never seen anything quite like it. Usually when you meet people, especially people who are spearheading something, sometimes they meet you and there's an agenda. You know, there's an agenda at foot. They're doing X, Y, Z to get you to do, you know, ABC, you know what I mean, on the other end. And just coming to know you, that's just not who you are. You're very, very transparent, very real, you know what I mean? And I love when people say what they mean and they mean what they say. Where I don't have to guess, like, well, what do they really mean? You know, I don't have to think about it, because Tina Marie gonna say exactly what it is, and it's all love, and it's in a space where it's and it's going to push you to be able to be a better person, to be a better, you know, entrepreneur, to be a better sister. I want to know, who were some people who were inspirational to you, people who you've looked up to along the way, people who have kind of made a serious impact on you in the way that you do things, or even the way that you conduct business?
You know what? Can it be? Does it have to be? Can it be like?
It can be whoever you want it, whoever it is.
Okay, so I don't really. My drive really comes from my family.
Okay.
I'm just inspired by my family. Things I wanted for them, things I want for them. I'm inspired by legacy. So my business model, I pull inspiration from learning,
Mm-hmm.
from continuous learning, from paying for a class, signing up for a free workshop, staying inside of learning spaces. So that's, I pull from learning.
Okay.
So my business, my work ethic is a natural thing. I've
Mm-hmm.
always had it my whole life. So work ethic is it's a natural thing. But where I pull from is the things I want from my family. So that's where all these events have derived from, where the lack I see. I'm trying to break the curses. I'm trying to repair the lack. I'm trying to create a different legacy for us. I'm trying to give my mom, I've always been that though, also. I've always been this way. I want to always be, I don't want to be the headache for my mom.
Right.
I want to be the reason that she can sleep well. I want to be the reason she can feel proud. I want to be the reason that my daughters won't give up no matter what age they turn. I want to be the reason my granddaughter can stand up in a room full of people and say, "My grandma started this."
Yes.
I want to be that. I pull inspiration from the sisters in my foundation. They drive me. Watching them continue to go, to move forward, to fight another day. Watching their businesses uh, do things and pulling from them. That's where I get it from. Some of my business models I'll pull from stars, from celebrities, like a Beyonce. Uh, just not the music, but what she went through to get to where she was. I pulled that because I know all the hateful things that are spewed about her, to her, and that she has to push past that and acknowledge the fact that people ain't gonna like you and they gonna talk so much shit about you, baby. You gonna have to be okay with that. Reading Michelle Obama's book, knowing that she had to deal with people calling her apes and monkeys and she a man, and they're kidnapping and selling off children, and knowing that people are saying all these things and having to still push through
Right.
that. I pull from those people. Tyler Perry, because I host a lot of events. And sometimes, you'll have people. I had somebody say to me one time, Motivational Speakers Forum was in its, this will be our 4th year. In the 2nd year, someone said to me, I thought it was going to be more people. Girl, why are you thinking about that in the first place? Right? That doesn't make any sense to me. But if I was weak and fell into things like that, right, that would stop you from wanting to proceed, because now you're concerned that people are judging you by the lack of attendance or what they expected should be the attendance at your event. And I pull from Tyler Perry, from renting out huge venues and 30 people showing up in the space that fits 600. But that never stopped him from pushing and going and going. And so I pull from those people. And as far as how I scale my business, it's all self-taught. And so I make sure I set aside at least 2 hours a day to educate myself in my industry. So I'm in the nonprofit sector. So 2 hours a day, I am reading up on things I need to build up my nonprofit the best way. Teaching in it and hosting events. What am I missing? I go back and do my own homework about what should have happened last year, what we did to do this year. So that's a long answer, but that's the answer.
No, I think that was a necessary answer, because I think sometimes you can look at things inside of a bubble and think it's just, oh, it's just this little dot right here. But there are so many things that happen to it. And when you think about, your faith walk, even if you're being an entrepreneur, you're trying that new thing. We all start from the same humble beginnings, which is that little mustard seed that's so tiny. You can't even see it. You got to shake it sometimes to even see if it's there. Like, okay, it's still there. Because I can feel something, shaking. I can't even see it. And so having the faith and the tenacity and the resilience, I liked when I was at the Motivational Speakers Forum, and the fact that you talked about, we're going to grow into this space. I'm like, the way that your brain works is totally like it's something. It's just something I'm not around it too much, and so I would say it's always refreshing because the perspective that you had on it was just like, okay, I like that mindset, you know. And to me, mindset is everything. You know, when you walk in with a defeatist attitude, it's easy to feel conquered and feel overwhelmed. Like, okay, yeah, no, I'm not gonna try that thing again. But you're like, nope, this is the place for sure. Like, I don't got it wrong. This is the assignment. This is where it's supposed to be. And we're going to grow into this space. And I'm like, okay, I like that. Like, I can get behind that. One of the things that I can say, sometimes people have like that lazy affair type style approach to leadership. Hey, y'all go do all this work over here. And then I'm going to come show up when it's time to do something. That is not Tina Marie style. The woman is pulling stuff in, sweeping stuff, getting things together, setting up stuff. I'm not saying you are just such a inspiration to watch. You truly, truly are. I'm taking note on everything. Every time we come into contact with each other, I'm always paying attention. And if I'm not talking, I'm assessing and I'm looking at it and I'm evaluating and I'm seeing it. It's just something that pushes you when you see a person who's giving their all to something. It's easy for you to say, well, this person is giving their all. Let me give my all to this thing too. You said something that was so cute to me, but I felt like was so real when you were speaking at Perryville. You said, if I told the bridge builders that we was going to the moon tomorrow, bridge builders would be like, okay, well, what color are we?
Yeah.
And what was crazy about that was like, that's true.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't think the question would be like, well, how you gonna do it, Tina Marie? They would just feel enough confidence. Okay, Tina Marie said we're gonna go to the moon, so she gonna figure that thing out. However that thing is supposed to look. What we supposed to know is what are we supposed to be coordinated in? How are we there to support? How does that make you feel knowing that you've built that type of confidence in and morale in this organization? A lot of times when you think about women being together, people think of a space that's catty, a space that's going to have a lot of clicks, a space that's going to be able to say, you know, hey, you're not in on that in group, or this group feels this way, or these are the favorites over here, and you won't get any of these things. How does it feel to be able to know that you've created a space that is truly like a unicorn? It's a space that is about faith. It's a space that's about entrepreneurship and about building up. It's a space that's truly about sisterhood. It's a space that talks about being your sister's keeper. What has that meant to you to be able to actually to be successful? I know sometimes people have an idea of wanting to do something, but you've actually been able to take that idea and make it into a reality for so many people who wear the title of bridge builder. So what has that meant to you?
You know, it's really fundamental at its best as far as a business, any business. When I say I do homework from Fortune 500 companies, not just celebrities. So I got to go back. Fortune 500 companies. I tell when I teach a class on when I'm coaching a business, you go and find 3 businesses that are in the Fortune 500 company in your industry, and you go and watch why they're successful. One of the ways I will guarantee you, and this is the success of the bridge builders, the founder, the executives, the presidents, the directors, they're following the mission of the organization, the company, the mission. The women have confidence in me and in what we're doing because they're not following Tina the person. Because Tina the person is there's the person that has a release anger. We're all following the mission. So the confidence comes in watching the leader be who she said the mission is.
Right.
I think a lot of companies struggle, and I'm not just talking about small business, even companies. Remember the story about Krispy Kreme donut when they fell off and the stock fell and plummeted, all of these things. They got away from the mission. They got away from the formula that created them. Somebody decided they wanted to shake it up. right? You can
Right.
shake up something, but don't lose why we're here. We're
Right.
here to empower, inspire, and to heal women. And that's why it's also easy for me not to allow shenanigans to take place here. Because my first thought is to remove my own emotion and to say, is this following the mission? Is this conversation? Is this action? Is this event? Is this person? Is this the bond that these people have? Is it to empower, inspire, and to heal? No, no, and no. Now we have to address it, do something about it, and pull it out of there, right? So I'm going to go back to what you just said. So my question is, how does it feel? How do we get here? How do we find the success? By following the mission, by following the mission. And how, you said, how do we keep it from being catty and all these other things? Those things have happened here, right? And all transparent, they're gonna happen here, right? Because we're all human, we're all flesh, we are all, we're gonna make mistakes. Those things will happen here, but it's also about our scripture that we follow, Matthew 18:20, where two or three more are gathered, there I am in the midst of them. For correction, there is love and correction. So, not that those things don't happen here or haven't happened here. It's about how do we recover. We go back to the mission, we go back to the pledge, we go back to our scripture, we go back to these things. That's our standard. That's how we handle things. We call each other out, we hold each other accountable. And if that's not how you're used to being regulated by the Most High God, because that's how God gonna regulate you too, right? That's why we gotta lean into the scripture. The scripture gonna get us together and hold us accountable and make us feel convicted, and we're gonna get back in line. And if they don't, and the reason it doesn't thrive here, the reason it doesn't survive here is because, back to scripture and back to being spiritual, is because God says when you address the enemy, when you rebuke the enemy, evil flee. So those people will flee, right? And some flee with drama attached to it, and some will just silently flee because it won't happen here. And although it tries to rear its head here, it won't survive here. It will not survive here. This organization is even protected from me. And we share that all the time. I'm going to protect the bridge builders from myself. So I'm damn sure we're protected from everybody else. Right. And what I mean by that is even when I'm feeling like being angry to the point where it can get away from the mission, I gotta get myself together. Girl, that ain't empowering, inspiring, nor healing. You better get yourself together. This ain't happening in the bridge builders, Tina Marie. Right? So if that's how I handle myself, that's how the organization will be handled, because what? We all go back to the mission of the organization.
I'm telling you, just to be able to see that, not just to be something that's a mantra or just that just serves only as a pledge or as a mission, but something that you're actually activating in real time is just, like I said again, really inspiring and motivating to be able to watch. Recently, you just on Friday, you guys had the first open house to be able to come into the organization. Although we're not in that space right now, I do want you to tell people how they can connect, because this is a global sisterhood. We have a sister that's all the way over in Cape Town, our sister
Cape Town,
who's over in Cape Town, Africa. And I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we have sisters like Mika Bell's over in Charlotte. So it's people who are spaced out. How can women who want to be a part of an organization like this, how can they get in contact with you? How can they sign up so that they can find out more about the bridge builders, how to become a bridge builder? Why don't you provide that information for them?
So whether you're here in Phoenix, where our headquarters is, or if you're in the satellite chapter like Milwaukee, Cincinnati, North Carolina, Cape Town, South Africa, you just reach out to me personally right now. Right now, I am bringing in the members. At first, we had it done another way, but you just have to call me up. Tell me you want to join. It's as simple as that. After joining for a month, there is an inauguration that takes place. We then inaugurate you in. You have to have the scripture memorized. You have to have the pledges memorized, our mission memorized, and the colors our organization stands for. and you have to have all that memorized. And then that's when we give you your shirt, which we call your colors. You're awarded your colors at that point. And then you're brought in as an official sister. But I mean, you're still official when you join, but you have to have those things met before you can become solidified inside the space. But it's really as easy as saying you want to join. We did have some other heavier requirements, but we realized that people want to join. They want to join now. And so we welcome them to come join. There's two ways to join. You can join as a standard sister of the sisterhood, or you can join as a business owner of the sisterhood. So it's a quarterly membership platform subscription. So the sisterhood membership is $180 per quarter. And then the business one is $279 or $289 per quarter. If you live out of state, you are brought in. If you're coming in as a business owner, you are $180 per quarter because you are out of state. So you're $180 per quarter because you don't get the advantage of the space here in Arizona, in Phoenix. So it's $180 for a business person that is out of state, and that's per quarter. And then it includes everything. If you are from Milwaukee, or Chanelle can tell you best, being one of the leaders in our Milwaukee chapter and being attached to the organization, listen, sowing financially into the Bridge Builders, it's a blessing because definitely we are member focused. We take care of our members, the opportunities, the support of the sisterhood. It's unmatched. It's unmatched. The doors that continue to open. I shared this. There's so many relationships, corporate relationships that we're building, community relationships. And when I go into these rooms, I don't go in there as Tina Marie, the Bridge Builder. I go in there as Tina Marie, a sister of the Bridge Builders Alliance Group. And when I'm in there speaking, I'm not speaking for Tina Marie, the Bridge Builder. I'm speaking as a Bridge Builder, okay? We all coming, and we shared this at the open house about the Bridge Builders all going to the prison. She's like, they wanted the speakers to come. I said, no, the speakers can come, but the sisterhood also has to be there. Some of the sisters are going to want to come. I'm going to put it out there and see who wants to come. And so it ended up 30 of us. And I remember Deputy Robertson like, well, all y'all might not be able to come and I'm standing on where I'm standing. Well, we all got to come. And so that's who we are. And that's who I am as the founder, as the leader. My sisters are coming with me, right? They're coming with me for any opportunity I have, we have. And so that's what makes us so special. So come on, be a bridge builder, babe. You ain't gonna
talk about it. I'm telling you, I'm here for all the energy. And what I'm gonna say is, it's not just talk. When I tell you I done seen this woman in real time take care of some business, I'm like, you know what? That's my kind of space. I love it here. I'm like, I'm just so excited. I'm just so proud to be able to be a bridge builder, what it stands for, what the impact that it's making, the vision that's cast for it, the message I align with all those principles. And like I said, when you have a person who is operating in the fashion in which you operate, it just makes it just an organization that it just comes full circle. Not only are you is something you're serving, but you're also being served. I'm gonna tell y'all, people who got those businesses, do the 180. I'm in Milwaukee. I'm telling you that. Go ahead and do that 180. Make that connection because, like I said, it's just truly worthwhile. Not just the opportunities, but the sisterhood. It feels good to be able to connect with the sisters and to be able to share space with them and to laugh and to joke and to just to connect. It's all love. It's genuine. It's not fake. It's not phony. So I just want to tell you guys, make sure that you guys check it out. We only have a couple of minutes left. But Tina Marie, we do have the gala that's coming up in January. So I would like for you to be able to speak about that. Because ladies, y'all gonna want to pull out your breasts and come down with your dress on and show up and show out for an amazing time. So Tina, just tell them briefly how they can connect with you to be able to attend the gala that's going to be happening in January and how they can also stay connected with you.
Just go to Tina Marie, the Bridge Builder. Just go right to your phone or your tablet or your laptop or your desktop and type in Tina Marie the Bridge Builder, it's going to pull up everything. Okay. It's going to pull up everything. You go right to the website. You can find out about the gala, but it's our anniversary. It's our 4-year. We celebrate tough. We celebrate hard. We celebrate. So it's the theme is Diamonds Are Forever. Get your Diamonds Are Forever going on, and we outside, baby.
I'm telling you, you guys definitely do not want to miss this. Again, if you guys are going to be in the Phoenix area, don't forget the Girls' Day party celebrating
November
Black
3rd.
You don't want to miss it. It's an all-white affair. Come out with your best. If you're going to be able to be a vendor, it's no vending event like it. I'm just going to go out there and just put that out there. It's no vending event like it. So you want to be able to show up and show out. Make sure you connect with her. And ladies and gents, if you can definitely be in the space in January, then don't miss the gala. It's going to be all serious, get dressed affair. Nobody does a party like the Bridge Builders.
Period.
Know how to party. I'm trying to tell you. It is all true. Tina Marie, I want to thank you because again, I know how busy you are. Thank you. Just want to thank you for sharing space and dropping these nuggets. People can also find out about those free classes. Again, hint, going over to
November won't be big. Chanelle teaching 2 classes. Coach Pam is teaching another class. Danielle is teaching her class end of this week. We have a lot of classes being taught in November. There's going to be a dance class here for November. It's going up.
So y'all better make sure y'all go over there and check it out. Tina Marie, thank you again for being amazing, for showing up and for showing out as always, per usual. I'm wishing you nothing but continued success. And ladies, make sure you go over and check out www.tinamariethebridgebuilder.com so that you guys can see how you guys can get connected. Hope everyone has an amazing Tuesday, and we out of here like that.
Bye.
My name is Ismail Jabber, and I was born in Kuwait from a Palestinian father and an Egyptian mother. I was in a prison called Maryland House of Correction, and I thought to myself I was one good, well-seasoned Christian. So I searched the scripture, and I got baptized.